Good evening, viewers. Today, thousands of young Indians gathered at Delhi's Jantar Mantar. Students, young professionals, first time protesters, many of them carrying placards, shouting slogans demanding one thing: the resignation of Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, tonight's discussion is not about whether you support the Cockroach Janata Party or oppose it. Movements come and go, political trends rise and fall. The real issue is much bigger. Viewers, the real issue is accountability. Because today's protest is not really about cockroaches, it is not really about Instagram, it is not even really about Abhijit Dibke. It is about a generation that increasingly feels nobody in power is ever held accountable for failure. And that sentiment, viewers, did not emerge overnight. Viewers, let's be honest today. What exactly has to happen in India today for a minister to resign? A train accident? No. A paper leak? No. A major examination scandal every year? No. Airline chaos? No. Administrative collapse? No. Thousands of stranded passengers? No. Questions over public safety? Not at all. Questions over governance? No. Questions over competence? No. Nothing. That is the growing public perception, and perception matters in politics. Because there was a time when resignations were considered part of a democratic accountability system. A minister may not have personally caused a crisis, but as the political head of a department, he accepted responsibility. That principle appears increasingly extinct. Today, governments often treat resignations as admissions of guilt, but resignation was never meant to be admission of guilt. It was meant to be acceptance of responsibility. There is a difference, a very important difference. In fact, years ago, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh himself made a remark while attacking the previous UPA government. He said, इस सरकार में इस्तीफे नहीं होते यूपीए जैसे. At the time, it was meant as a political attack, but many people listening today may ask, has the situation changed, or has the culture of non accountability simply become bipartisan? Because today, viewers, regardless of controversy, resignation appears almost impossible. The political cost of stepping down has become greater than the political cost of failure itself. This is very dangerous for democracy. Because if failure has no consequences, what incentive exists for improvement? Viewers, look beyond the slogans today, look beyond the memes, look beyond the satire. What are these students actually saying? They are saying something very simple. We did our part. We studied. We attended classes. We prepared for competitive examinations. We followed the rules. So why is the system failing us? Every year there is some controversy. Paper leaks, exam irregularities, technical glitches, evaluation disputes, counseling confusions, administrative lapses. The faces change, the explanations change, the excuses change, but the controversies remain remarkably consistent. And when students, viewers, repeatedly see the same problems recurring without visible accountability, frustration inevitably turns into anger. Today's protest is that anger becoming visible. Now, viewers, the establishment's biggest mistake was laughing at the movement. For months, many people dismissed CJP as a joke, as a meme page, a satire account, a social media fad. But here's the thing about politics: people don't join movements because of logos, they join movements because they see their frustrations being reflected. That is what happened here. Millions followed not because they wanted a cockroach symbol or a logo, but millions followed because somebody was talking about issues they believed nobody else was taking seriously: education, jobs, governance, corruption, accountability, and what more. The symbol is irrelevant, the sentiment is not. Viewers, now look at what happened next. Questions were raised about the movement's funding. Questions were raised about foreign influence, questions were raised about followers, questions were raised about motives. A complaint now has been reportedly filed alleging anti-national activities. Again, if there are allegations, let evidence determine the truth, because that is how democracies should be functioning. But there is another question. Why is that every time a citizen led movement gains traction, the conversations immediately shifts away from the issue towards the people raising it? The issue today is examination, viewers, irregularities. The issue is accountability. The issue is public trust. The issue is whether students deserve answers. Those questions should not disappear simply because somebody dislikes the messenger. The most amusing part of today's protest was watching political parties react. Some wanted to support the anger. Some wanted to distance themselves from the movement, like the Congress Party. Some wanted to take credit. Some wanted to discredit it. Congress leaders put out a statement today from their spokespersons' accounts telling what the Youth Congress has done good for the youth. NCP leaders extended support. Supporters of various parties accused the movement of secretly working for rival parties. Meanwhile, right-wing groups arrived to oppose the protest. Everyone had a theory, everyone had a agenda, everyone had a narrative, and perhaps that is the strongest proof that this protest mattered. Because when nobody takes you seriously, nobody reacts. When everyone reacts, it means you have entered the political conversation. Interestingly, the slogans against sections of media should also concern us. Not because slogans themselves matter, but because they reveal something deeper. A growing number of young Indians simply do not believe mainstream media reflects their concerns. Whether that perception is fair or unfair is a separate debate, but it exists. And perceptions have consequences. Viewers, many young people now trust independent creators, independent media, YouTubers, Instagram pages, digital communities more than the traditional television news channels. That trust vacuum did not appear by accident. It emerged because large sections of public increasingly feel certain issues are underreported while political spectacle dominates coverage. And the verdict, viewers, verdict is very simple. You do not have to support the Cockroach Janata Party. You do not have to agree with Abhijit Dipke. You do not even have to like the movement. But if thousands of students travel across the country to demand accountability, democracy requires us to listen. Not mock them, not dismiss them, not label them as anti-nationals and Deshdrohis, but listen to them. Because at the heart of this protest lies a question that every government must answer. If examinations fail, who is accountable? If systems repeatedly break down, who is accountable? If public trust collapses, who is accountable? And if the answer is nobody, then perhaps the real crisis is not in our examination system or education system. The real crisis is in our political culture, a culture where everything happens and nobody resigns. And that, more than any slogan raised today at Jantar Mantar, should worry every citizen, every single citizen of this country. Thank you so much.